Hi, my name's Steve Jolemore. I'm one of the guitar instructors here at Alpha Music. And the subject of this video is going to be the modes from bright to dark. If you don't know anything about the modes, I would suggest that you watch the video that was already done by another of our instructors, Jay Rakes. He covers how to build the modes all in the key of C. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the modes built all on one note. So instead of building the modes on a different note like C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, and so on, we're going to build all the modes on C. And we're going to do this from the brightest sounding mode to the darkest sounding mode. So the brightest sounding mode is the mode that we would call Lydian. But before we look at that, let's just make a real quick test and make sure we know what's going on in Ionian mode, which is the major scale. So here's the C major scale up and down the second string. C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, B is 7, and then we get to C, which is just the octave again. So it's important to understand that when we number a major scale, when we number the notes, it always goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No matter which key you're in. So if I did this, say, in the key of D, D has 2 sharps. And even though there's 2 sharps in there, the numbers would still be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just to show you that real quick. You can hear how the scale sounds the same. It's the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do sound. So going back to C, to build the Lydian scale, what we have to do is take the 4th note and sharp it. So here's C Lydian. C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F sharp is the sharp 4. G is 5, A is 6, B is 7, back to C again. Now, the best way of hearing the modal sound with the chord is to include the note that's different. And in this case, the note that's different is the 4th note. It's an F sharp. So this chord here, this is a C 6-9 with a sharp 11. The sharp 11 is the same as the sharp 4. So here's that sound. Here's another one that's similar to it. This is a C major 7 with the sharp 11. So these are chords that have a Lydian sound. I'm going to make a little recording of that sound. So now, to play over that, I'm just going to take the scale that I just played with the sharp 4. So here it is. C, E, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C. Now, one thing that I suggest is when you're learning to hear the sound of the scale, play slowly and really listen to the sound of each note so that you get the sound of the scale in your ears. So I'm going to do that. F sharp a lot. That's because that's like the money note of the scale. Now, the major scale that has 1 sharp in it would be G. So if I play a G major scale like this, over this chord sound you're going to hear Lydian. that's Lydian. That's the brightest of the modes. The next down from that would be Ionian. Ionian is the same as the major scale that we just covered, so we're going to move on now to the Mixolydian scale. Mixolydian is like a major scale with a flatted 7. So using C as our beginning point again, we would have C1, D2, E3, F natural, which would be the 4. Here's G, which is the 5. A is the 6. And B flat is our flatted 7. So you can hear that has a very different kind of sound to it. The chord that I played before, this would not work because of the sharp 4. So the kind of chord that works best for Mixolydian is a dominant chord. So we're going to build a dominant chord. That would be a C7, C9, C11, C13. Any of these chords have the flatted 7 and the major third that we need to get the dominant sound. So here's that sound. So I just moved from a C13 to a C9. These are both C7 kinds of chords. Here's our C Mixolydian scale over the top of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. So our kind of money note here is the flat 7. So playing over this now. It's helpful to know, to be able to play all over the neck, we would want to know how to build all of our different major scale patterns on the note F. An F major scale has the B flat in it. So if we play F major over C7, we're going to hear it as C Mixolydian. So I'm going to take the same pattern that I used for C Lydian here, which was the G. I'm going to move that to F now so you can hear that sound. So you can hear right away that scale sounds great, really fits with this kind of a chord. C Mixolydian. So what we've done now is we've covered the 3 major sounding modes. We've started with the brightest of the modes, which was C Lydian, that has like a major scale with a sharp 4. C Ionian is the next one down. It's just a regular C major scale. Then Mixolydian, which was like a C major scale or a major scale on with a flatted 7. Now keep in mind that what we're doing here on C, we could do on any note. If we start on any major scale and we want to hear Lydian, sharp the 4th note. If you want to hear Mixolydian, flat the 7th note. And it's very helpful if you can think in terms of what the major scale would be that relates to that mode. So if you're on the Lydian, count backwards. Think of that 4th note as your beginning point, count backwards 4 notes, and you'll get the parent major scale of the mode that you want to be in. For Mixolydian, start on, think of the root note as being the 5th note, and count backwards till you get to the 1st note. So let me show you what I'm talking about.